Hello guys, and welcome back to another Total War Warhammer 3 skill point guide video. Today we'll be going over Tzarina Katarin when you're playing as Kislev, and let's just jump right on into the video. Now after grabbing Root Marcher, I do like to go down her magic line. She's a pretty good ice spell caster, even though ice magic is sort of meh. However, I really do like Death Frost now. It's really good like individual damage dealing spell. Got quite a significant buff in its overall cost. But in terms of the spells, I do end up grabbing all of our magic other than the Frost Blades. The Frost Blades is, you can overcast it, but I'm just not a big fan of the overcast variant. It doesn't affect more entities, just increases the armor piercing damage and base weapon damage of the unit, and the fact that it doesn't do an area effect is just not that great of an ability, to be honest. But definitely grab Ice Maiden's Kiss, and then I do like Frost Shield just for the passive ability. It's not that great of a passive, but it's something. Then I like to grab Ice Sheet, Death Frost, Evasion. Definitely Heart of Winter, even though it takes a long time to cast, it does have a lot of damage potential. And then grabbing Crystal Sanctuary, and then obviously Arcane Conduit just to finish out her magic line. Now the reason why I end up grabbing more like points into certain areas than others, mainly for her magic line, is just because like she doesn't have that many skill points to spend on, because her skill tree is rather straightforward and kind of basic. But nonetheless, she is a very powerful ice spell caster because of the Ice Mistress ability here, which unlocks her special skill tree. As you progress, going down the blue line, and then you jump into the special skill line here. I do like to grab the Con Queen. It's really good for the devotion generated diplomatic relations with Kislev, but it's also the control +1. All provinces, you're going to be dealing with a lot of corruption playing as Kislev with Norska, Skaven, all the different types of chaos corruption that you can run into, on top of just basic chaos attrition, whether it's the mono god factions or whatnot. So being able to provide a little extra control, all provinces faction wide, is a really good ability there. I do like to grab the Frost Affinity for her just to give her some extra speed, even though she does end up going on her bear, making her a little better in melee. The extra speed for her just lets her a little easier to maneuver around the battle. And then I also like to grab the Embodiment of Winter just for the extra hit points, weapon strength, and armor. Now, depending on what you end up going, you can give her some Ice Guard units, and this is where the Indomitable Spirit would come into play. But she also does a really good job of buffing the Snow Leopard units, which Snow Leopards are really powerful single entities, really good against anti-large. On top of the fact that she does an area of effect damage with her ice magic, can be a really good doom stack as well. But assuming you're not going with some doom stacks, I do, after like going down the magic line and then her special skills, I do like to go down her red line a little bit, just to make her army a little better. And what I usually end up doing, because early on you're going to have a lot of Kossar units, so I like to buff them, give them more reload time reduction, give them some melee defense, just so they hold the line a little better. Plus you'll end up, I like to get the armored Kossars as well, and then Streltsy later on in the campaign, so you end up getting those. It's a pretty good duo there as well. Now depending on what you end up getting, it really kind of depends if you end up getting some artillery, some bears, or if you end up getting the best of the court for the Ice Guard, which I usually end up getting Ice Guard for her. So once I do end up getting Ice Guard, I do like to put a point into Indomitable Spirit, and then also getting the Shield of Ice for the ward save for her whole army. But then after that, I do just finish out her red line and get her the Skirmisher Traditions, just to buff them up a little more melee attack, a little more ammunition and missile resistance, and then also standing your ground there. Now, even after spending all these points in the red points, the magic line, and the special skill lines, we still have quite a few points to spend. And so it really kind of comes down to the player on what you want to do. Again, going back to the fact that you're going to be in a lot of chaos-afflicted regions, the blue line can become very handy as well. So whether you want to go control, attrition reduction, or corruption, It's kind of dealer's choice, really. I usually like to go with the corruption, usually because she's going to end up occupying a settlement, whether she's in Norska or the Chaos Waste to the north. And so she's going to be in that province for at least one turn. So if she can debuff that a little more, that's even great. Plus, her Ice Queen trait gives her another -6 corruption in the local province. So you're already, by putting 3 points into Fervent, you're already looking at a -9 corruption in the local province. So it really just tanks that corruption, makes it much more suitable for you. That way you don't have to travel around in a camp stance, being only able to use 50% of your movement. You know, not being able to go into ambush stance because you're taking more attrition, especially if you end up getting into a really nasty fight up there. It can really halt your advance if you're constantly having to just go into a camp stance or taking a turn in a settlement because you took so much damage.
For the motherland.
But then just progressing down the blue line, I usually like to grab just the 10% attrition, or the -10% a casualty suffered from all attrition, just to kind of continue the blue line. The one control in a heavily afflicted or heavily corrupted area is not going to make that big of a difference. And the recruitment cost, I don't really use Katarin as my recruiting lord, really, and so she's not going to just stand around recruiting a lot. So the extra 5% is just not going to make that big of a difference there for me personally. But I do like to go down the quartermaster route because you do have supply lines with Kislev. And you don't need to worry about replenishment because you have the Patriarch heroes that will provide the replenishment for you, so you don't need to worry about replenishment there. Since you are going up against a little bit of Skaven nearby, it doesn't always hurt to grab some extra ambush defense chance. But then also the big thing is getting the Renowned and Feared for the extra upkeep cost reduction and also campaign movement range there. But that is her blue line. Now after that, we still have 8 points to spend, which I usually end up going up here, giving her some missile resistance. The Guardian's Call is a really good ability, and also if you end up wanting to go with these Snow Leopard units, providing some more speed and stock for them can make them very lethal, whether it's on the campaign map or on sieges themselves. And then the last 3 points, obviously just put them into Mentor. That way, when she does hit rank 50, you're just spreading out some of that experience that she would otherwise be wasting away. But that is how I level up Katarin. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. If you end up, using some Warbear Riders or Snow Leopards, let me know, because you can definitely, the red line is a little more fluid in terms of units you want to put in your army. If you want to end up going with the Snow Leopard stack, that's totally fine. Or if you just want to kind of boost more than just kind of one unit, doing the firing drills and the best of the court is a pretty good option there. But definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of the video, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. And until the next video or live stream on the channel, I will see you guys later. Bye.